I was like, oh man, that's sick, Bernie Wrightson, and then I noticed it was signed, and it's already framed. Welcome back to the West Coast Davengers. It's me, Dave, your comic guy. Today, I took a little time out of my extremely busy weekend to go to Grit City Comic Con right here in Tacoma, Washington. And, well, you're going to see my haul. It was something that I wasn't originally going to do. I'm leaving to go to Japan in like 72 hours. I have a lot of work going on, a lot of things to do. I wanted to take a day and just enjoy a little digging. And I went for a couple hours. I didn't shoot a lot of footage just because I really wanted to enjoy my time there and dig, see some friends, and get some books, which I did. I got a huge stack. It's all sitting in front of me, which you're going to see in just a moment. Before we get started, I'm just going to ask you, once you're done watching the video, hit the like button, drop a comment. If you have any insight into any of the stuff I got or something that you want to add, go ahead, do so. There's some really interesting stuff in here. I think I scored pretty well, because I look for things, as the old adage goes, when they go right, I go left. I look for things that most people aren't thinking of trying to find, or things that people don't know a lot about. I shot maybe like 20 seconds of footage just to give you an idea of how big the room was. So watch that clip. We'll do a top down and you'll see everything I got. So stay tuned.
All right. You're just getting some B-roll footage. I'm not filming this whole fucking thing, people.
All right, let's see what I picked up today at Grit City Comic Con. I was checking out some just dollar books, which is always a fun thing to do at a con like this. I try to check the dollar boxes of places that don't own stores. Picked up a nice little stack of Sandman issue number 25, which is the first appearance of the Dead Boy Detectives. And I know that Neil Gaiman has stained his own name, but this is more of a Matt Wagner thing. Also, I really enjoyed the TV show. Just a bunch of copies of those. Fuck it, right? I Can Never Resist Youngblood number 2. I got both of the different colored trade dresses, which is the first appearance of Shadowhawk and the first appearance of John Prophet. Youngblood recently just came back from however many years it's been gone from Image Comics. Rob Liefeld at the helm of that. I thought this was pretty cool. Speaking of Rob Liefeld, is Supreme, which eventually Alan Moore would take over, and this is an homage to Superman number 1. I've never seen this issue. Most of these issues are super low print run. Joe Bennett was on the pencils, Norm Rapmond on the inkers, some Keith Giffen art in here. But I always pick those up because they're a low print run. Now, I got this for a deal, but 3 copies of Heavy Metal number 1. Now, arguably, this is the most printed of the issues, but this is from 1977. And this is one of the most groundbreaking magazines to ever exist. Obviously coming out of, the French version, Metal Hurlant. But yeah, those will be for sale once I figure out which copy I'm going to keep. I think this might have been the best deal of the day. I've never seen this printing of Watchmen before. This is a hardcover. I'm going to look in a second to see if this is the first hardcover printing of Watchmen. This is the book club edition, which is really dope. What really speaks to me is that dust jacket image I've never seen before. Let's see what the actual... It's just a black book. I paid $5 for this copy of Watchmen. And I own the Ultimate Edition or whatever, the slipcase version, but look at this printed on beautiful newsprint, because the original books I think are printed on a glossy, stockier printing, which is great, but look at just the way the colors settle into this paper. I've never seen this edition before. Look at that quality printing and binding, Berryville Graphics in Virginia. So done especially for book club, and a beautiful $5. I paid $5 for this. Come on. People don't understand the collectability in multiple ways of trades and hardcovers that are out of print or different versions. And that's something I specialize in. I love books. I love presentation of books, and I love getting stuff that I've never seen before like that. All right. Speaking of, oh no. I got a full set of Domu. Katsuhiro Otomo's Domu. This is the Dark Horse printings. $16. A stack of Daniel Warren Johnson's Wonder Woman Dead Earth. Different, couple of variant covers. Book 4. Book 3, that is in cover A. Book 2, cover A. Book 1, variant cover, and then book 4, variant cover. Sometimes I think about how this is actually my favorite Daniel Warren Johnson story. It's grim, it's gritty, but it's so good. So I have a couple of customers asking me for copies of those, so I'll take care of them. Found a nice stack of Bob Burden's Flaming Carrot, so I couldn't resist. Let's take a look at this. You got Todd McFarlane. I think McFarlane just inked this cover, but there's a team up between Flaming Carrot and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Issue number 14. There's the first appearance of the Mystery Men in 16. Come on. Can't stay away from stuff like that. So here's something I just picked up because, well, I never seen it before. And it's got 2 names on it that we recognize. Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Stuntman. So obviously this is a reprinting of some Golden Age stuff. See, this is what I like. You get some words about what they did, articles, and then you go into the reprints. 1946 Stuntman. You know, this is before Kirby was, you know, had his own language and own style, because it was him, and I guess Joe Simon's probably inking him. Maybe it's vice versa. But it's still cool to see this just post-World War II stuff from the 2 of them. Vagabond Prince. Yeah, look, see, here's a picture of their studio. Let me get that closer. 1947 in Mineola. They spelled Mineola wrong. It's Mineola, which I grew up on Long Island. And I used to go to Grasshopper Comics in Mineola, which is still around. This, obviously, is... Oh, here, this is Greg Theakston inking a Joe Kirby piece. Some more cool stuff like that. Let's pull that out. I can't resist a set of these. The Secret History of Comics by one Jim Steranko. But then I noticed there's some stuff in here I didn't even... It's just like ephemera, photocopies about Captain Marvel. This was just in here when I bought it. These are classics. I think I already own a pair of these, and they're both signed. But I think this is one of those things that most people would be interested in seeing and owning, because they are written by Jim Steranko, who, you know, Jim Steranko is a carnival barker in a way, a lot of tall tales, but also one of the more important people to ever touch comics. And, you know, even though he didn't do a ton of comics, he left his mark on comics with design, with ideas. And so this is also one of those things that he left a mark on comics. This is a very well regarded book. But the thing is like when you meet the man in person, you hear him tell stories, you know, it's like he's definitely a storyteller. Let's say that. What else do we got here? I just grabbed a huge stack of stuff from this one guy who was selling part of his PC, his personal collection. Comics Journal 262. What's really cool is that this is a focus on Alex Toth. So this is still 21 years old, which is new-ish when you think about Comics Journal. But man, there's no better resource for information on some of these great creators than TCJ. Gary Groth, Fantagraphics. I don't know who else. I don't know who was specifically involved in this issue, interview-wise. But, you know, Groth is the editor-in-chief, columnist. So, you know, I don't know some of these people, but I know Bill Randall. Tom Spurgeon, obviously, the late Tom Spurgeon. But check out this issue that I got. This is a very widely regarded and very sought after issue because it's all on the great Darwyn Cooke, another person that we lost somewhat young comparatively. You know, I don't think he was more than 65, and you know, my dad's 80, so that's what I compare it to. I'm actually excited to dig through this, and then I'll probably move it on to. I have at least 2 customers that are looking for one, but I'd like to read it myself because I'd like to learn more about the man who so many people talk so highly about, including people like Jimmy Palmiotti and Mike Allred, friends of his, colleagues. There you go, Comics Journal. What else did I get here? I got another stack of... Oh yeah, this is a nice stack of magazine and comics. All right, I'll show this off. I got this a little bit of a deal. Satan 6 number 4, first appearance of Jason Voorhees in comics. That's for a customer. My buddy Travis, you may know him. WC Collectibles, Washington, or WS Collectibles, Washington State Collectibles. So we've got Heavy Metal number 19, Heavy Metal from December 1984. Richard Corbin cover. Federico Fellini interview. Can't go wrong with that. Now let's take a look at this. I picked this up because this issue, which is Heavy Metal 299, I think has one of the classic Corbin stories in here, and it might be the last chapter. Let's see. So this features a Richard Corbin interview, which I think this is the one that he was like really not happy about. And then you get Murky World. And Murky World's one of his classics that everybody kind of loves. I think it was eventually reprinted in a Dark Horse Comics one-shot. And then apparently there's some Vaughn Baudet in here. Yes, right here. You can see some of his original roughs. Great stuff. And then I am taking this with me. By the time you see this, I will probably already be in Japan, and I might even have this signed. But I believe this is either the first... Oh, look, there's some Rich Corbin here. But what I really bought this for, I think this is like one of the first 3 or 4, maybe even earlier, second published Peach Momoko story. Right here. And this is, you know, you're getting to see some of her stuff that is not affiliated with Marvel. Horror, body horror, really good, amazing stuff. Yeah. So this is Confess, story and art by Peach Momoko. She was always writing her own stuff. So that's Heavy Metal 299. Another thing I couldn't resist picking up, Godzilla Awakening, signed on the cover by cover artist and legendary artist Arthur Adams. I guess this is part of maybe a tie-in to the first Godzilla movie, because it's Legendary Pictures, and I've never read this. I don't know anything about it. I've never looked at it. The art's pretty cool. Doesn't compare to the amazing Art Adams cover. But, come on. How could you go wrong with that? Screonk. All right, the last 2 magazines I got, and then I'll show you the framed piece I got, is the Kirby Treasury Volume 1, which I couldn't remember if I bought it in Pittsburgh or if I got Volume 2 in Pittsburgh. I might have both now. If not, one of these will be for sale. And then, here's something that I couldn't say no to. The Art of Neal Adams. This is Volume 2. Look at that. Spidey, Soupy, Hulk, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Asshole the Mouse? I don't know. But you can't really beat this. Huh. The person who owned this name was Beverly Kirkham. Get to see some of his pencils, some promo art. Regrettably, O.J. Simpson, the Burger King. I think that's O.J. Simpson. I mean, it looks like O.J. Simpson. Frankenstein, which I'm not familiar with. This might be one of the Marvel books. The werewolf. Wow, this is really cool. He was just the greatest. He was an island onto himself. Nobody could touch him, and he changed so many different ways that comics were drawn, and just illustration in general at that time, pop culture stuff, and obviously, I don't know if we have the evolution of Batman in general, if Neal isn't the person to really kickstart that in the late 60s, early 70s. And then finally, I saw this, and I was like, oh man, that's sick, Bernie Wrightson. And then I noticed it was signed, and it's already framed, and this is one of the Frankenstein plates. It was indeed a filthy process in which I was engaged. 1978. Signed, framed, Bernie Wrightson print. The most gorgeous artwork. Just unbelievable. So that was my small haul from Grit City Comic Con. And as you can tell, I don't really go for the typical stuff that most people buy at a Comic Con. And that's why I usually do so well. So I think I did really well. I got some stuff that's just kind of mind-blowingly cheap, or something I've never seen before, like that book club version of the Watchmen, the hardcover, which that's going right on my shelf. That's a keeper. And then I got some stuff that's clearly just for sale, like those Heavy Metal #1s and the Arthur Adams signed Godzilla book, which you'll be able to buy either towards the end of the year or the beginning of next year. I am taking a pause on my sales because I will be going to Japan for a month. It's Manga Quest 2025, so I'll be bringing back a whole bunch of suitcases worth of Japanese books and stuff like Godzilla stuff and Ultraman and Devilman and Katsuhiro Otomo. So look for that. Before we get going, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the haul, because there's a lot of stuff in here that you might have some knowledge to add to. And I have a Patreon, which is a bridge that closes the gap between West Coast Davengers and my podcast Direct Edition. You've seen recently on Direct Edition Mark Silvestri, Jim Woodring, Daniel Warren Johnson, Matt Fraction, and coming up, Jeff Darrow, Matteo Scalera, and so many more. It's where I do all my interviews with all these comic creators. So please subscribe to that. The Patreon is $5 a month. It helps support the channel. I know that's not for everybody, but it's less than the cost of a cup of coffee. And, well, you're not going to just drink one cup of coffee every month, but you only have to subscribe monthly to the Patreon. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you have a great time, and I'll see you when I get back from Japan. I'll be selling some of this stuff, so look for that. West Coast Avengers. Ugh.